ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦਿਸ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸ਼ੋ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਦਾ ਵਾਕਿੰਗ ਮੰਕ ਨਾਲ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਭਗਤੀਮਾਰਗ ਸਵਾਮੀ। ਇਹ 4 ਵਾਰ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਈਸਟ ਟੂ ਵੈਸਟ ਅਤੇ ਵੈਸਟ ਟੂ ਈਸਟ ਕੋਸਟ ਕਵਰ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੁਲਕਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਪੈਦਲ ਚੱਲ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ। ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਰ ਵੀ ਹਨ ਅਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਡਰਾਮਾਸ ਵੀ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਅਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਭਗਤੀ ਯੋਗਾ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਟੀਚ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਇਹ ਪੈਦਲ ਚੱਲ ਕੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਅਕੰਪਲਿਸ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ। So स्वागत करते हैं भक्तिमार्ग स्वामी का। Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Namaste, Hare Krishna.
Namaskar. So we'll start off with you, sir. How did you get motivated to join this movement?
I grew up in, I guess what you would call the counterculture years. This was when Canada was very affected by the youth were affected by what was going on in America. The Vietnam War, and also people were challenging the establishment, the way the world was, becoming highly materialistic, consumer-like, and maybe it was a little bit in the overdrive. So I was part of that quest era, and I decided to dabble with, check out what's going on east.
Okay.
And our big heroes in those days were the Beatles.
Right.
Whatever they did, we did. If they dressed like, had Indian clothes, Nehru collars, light incense and other things, we would do it. You know?
Right.
So I followed their lyrics, their music, and to check out what was going on, anything Indian.
Right.
So I came upon some Hare Krishna devotees, monks.
Okay.
I met first at Yonge Street briefly in Toronto, and then the second bump into was in Victoria, BC, and then I purchased some literature, liked it, started to carefully, you know, sift through the material.
Right.
And I liked the message, especially of Bhagavad Gita
Okay.
and Krishna's words to Arjuna. So I met with the monks, spent a little time. I liked the notion of a different change in diet,
Right.
a vegetarian diet, and everything that's very Indian, the haldi, the jeera, all the spices that make it exclusively Indian.
Right.
And it was just a new experience.
Wonderful.
And I just caught on to it. And when I did, I felt like I'd been here before. And when I joined the monastery in Toronto, the ashram, I thought, I've been here before. I know this experience. It's almost as if I had gone through this in a previous life.
Okay. So what was one thing which inspired you to join this movement, especially because when you talk about the Bhagavad Gita, what message kind of encapsulated you and you said, no, I need to be a part of this movement?
Well, I think one big hook for me was the truth about karma, the natural law of karma. Whatever you sow, so you reap, as the saying goes. So if you put negative energy out there, it's going to come back to you.
Right.
It's like something you deserve. It's an inherent response.
Right.
And on the other hand, if you put out good vibes out there, then good reactions will come to you. So I think just hearing that was comforting and answered questions. That seems to be the policy of the universe, the policy of God, the Creator, and it just sat well with me. And it created that nice kind of balance, answered the question.
Coming from a different background, different culture, you know, what kind of challenges did you initially face, or it was just a, you know, easy assimilation into the system?
Well, I was raised in a Christian background, Catholic, and but I must admit, when I got to a temple and a mandir, and I saw, okay, there's a substantial level of ritualism here. There's a lot of singing, a lot of dance. The only thing that was kind of like different is that many, the monks had shaven heads, and we didn't have pews to sit on. We had the whole floor.
Right.
And that allowed for a little bit of devotional dance, free movement, but a lot of singing. In many ways, there wasn't that much difference. I mean, the universal truths are the same everywhere.
Right.
And I think that different religious paths shouldn't dwell so much on the differences, but more on the similarities.
On the oneness, absolutely.
Because the differences create that Well, a richness, but some people make it like a wall.
Right.
And that wall is something you can stare at and be
Absolutely.
absorbed in.
Very true.
And it can, in many ways, destroy your spiritual life.
So which year you are talking about when you got transformed into this one?
Well, I officially became a member in 1973.
Okay. Long period.
It's a long time ago.
Wow.
Yes, I've been at it for a while now, 43
Right.
years, but I
That's
feel
great.
young.
43 years is a long period, 4 decades of being in this movement, understanding about God and other things. We'll talk about this. But then the walking monk, what prompted you to start walking from west to east and east to west in Canada?
Well, our founder of our movement, his name is His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He hails from Bengal, and he followed a tradition in the line from a great saint, Chaitanya,
Right.
who was a contemporary of Guru Nanak, Mirabai, and other saints of that time. So he came to the West, and he had passed away in 1977. But in our worldwide mission, the Hare Krishna mission, we were bound to have a big celebration, and you could
Right.
be creative about it. So in 96, 20 years ago, I thought, let me do something different. I'm a patriotic monk. I love Canada.
Right.
And everything it stands for. I thought, I got it. Let me do this walk for my guru.
Right.
And let me see Canada. Let me see it close up the way you should. Because
Right.
previous, I did hitchhike. That was a common thing to do.
Yeah.
And it was more safe. And so I thought, let me walk it. And let me get out there with people. Let me meet the regular rank and file Canadian, whoever that may be, you know, and whatever that is defined as.
Right.
And get out there, get out of the monastery, out of my comfort zone, and get inspired by what I see, and try to inspire. So that was in 96, and ever since I did that, that took me 7.5 months to go from Victoria to Cape Spear in Newfoundland,
Okay.
and I became an addict after that.
So it's been 4 times you have
That's
crisscrossed
right.
Canada.
That's right.
And not only in Canada, but you have to be into other countries also. We have walked. So again, the message, what you want to give by walking is of interaction, intermingling. What
Yeah,
kind of
I would
message
say,
do you give?
let's say redefining movement,
Right.
and let's say going, the slower pace of life, slow down. And Gandhi once said, simple living, high thinking, that kind of motto.
Right.
And it really, when walking, you're making a green statement. You're saying, let's be more friendly to the environment.
Right.
And let's do it the way it should be done. Because I believe in the high-paced world that we live, we don't take enough time to process things.
Right.
When you walk, there's a mystical experience. Doesn't
Right.
matter. It's the rhythm that you create with your footsteps in a certain space that makes it kind of magical. And, you start to perceive things a little differently.
Right.
You start to see the sacredness behind everything. And it doesn't always have to be just nature or
Right.
the elements. It's just people also, and what's going on around you. The details start to mean a lot. The smells, the aromas, the bird dynamics, which
Right.
is sometimes combat, and you see a whole show, a whole IMAX in front of you all around.
Right.
That's like an entertainment center. Walking does that,
Wow, but along with that, the message also gets through, and
That's right. You're
that's what
walking
it-
your talk, and
Right.
so when you meet people, I'm doing it. So maybe you don't have to do the extreme walking that I'm doing, but you
Right.
can at least, instead of driving to the corner store, convenience store, walk it to get your milk or whatever.
Wonderful.
You know.
We'll go for a short break. We'll come back and learn a little bit more about this movement and how we human beings can make this place a better world. We'll go for a short break and come back soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
ਸੋ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਦ ਵਾਕਿੰਗ ਮੰਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ 4 ਵਾਰ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਨੂੰ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ ਕ੍ਰਾਸ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਹੋਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੱਲ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ। 1973 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਹਰੇ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨਾ ਮੂਵਮੈਂਟ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਜੁਆਇਨ ਕੀਤੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਨਸਪਾਇਰ ਹੋਏ ਸੀ ਬੀਟਲਸ ਤੋਂ। ਉਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਓਵਰ ਡਰਾਈਵ ਸੀ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ, ਤੇ ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਪਰਿਵਰਤਨ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਤਾਂ ਬੀਟਲਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਨਸਪਾਇਰ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਮੂਵਮੈਂਟ ਨੂੰ ਜੁਆਇਨ ਕੀਤਾ, ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਪਿਛਲੇ 43 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਇਹ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ। 1996 ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪੈਦਲ ਚੱਲ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਦੇਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਰਲ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਬਿਹਤਰ ਇਸ ਥਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਪੈਦਲ ਚੱਲਣ ਦੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਸਿਹਤ ਤੋਂ ਫਾਇਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਮਾਨਸਿਕ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨੇਚਰ ਦੇ ਕਰੀਬ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਅਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸਾਂਝ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਹੋਰ ਮਜ਼ਬੂਤ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਵਾਪਸ ਆ ਕੇ ਹੋਰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣੇ ਆ ਭਗਤੀ ਮਾਰਗ ਸਵਾਮੀ ਤੋਂ।
ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਰੀਨ ਡਰਾਈਵ ਤੇ ਸਥਿਤ ਰੀਅਲ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ ਸੁਪਰਸਟੋਰ ਉਹ ਵਨ ਸਟਾਪ ਖਰੀਦਾਰੀ ਦਾ ਹੱਲ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੈਰਾਈਟੀ, ਵੈਲਿਊ ਤੇ ਹਰ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਸਾਊਥ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲਿਟੀਜ਼ ਵਾਜਿਬ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਮਿਲਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ। ਸਾਫ਼ ਸੁਥਰੀਆਂ ਹਾਈ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਤਾਜ਼ੀ ਸਬਜ਼ੀਆਂ, ਫਲ, ਬੇਕਰੀ, ਡੇਅਰੀ, ਰੈਗੂਲਰ ਤੇ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਗਰੋਸਰੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਉਪਲਬਧ ਹੈ। ਆਓ ਤੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਇੱਕੋ ਥਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਘਰ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਦੀ ਹਰੇਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਲੈ ਜਾਓ। ਹੋਰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ 604-322-3727।
We cater to all your ethnic needs. Thank you for shopping at Superstore on Marine Drive.
Once again, welcome back to the program. ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ 'ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰਵਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਭਗਤੀ ਮਾਰਗ ਸਵਾਮੀ ਨਾਲ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੱਕ ਕਿ ਆਮ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਵਾਕਿੰਗ ਮੰਕ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ 4 ਵਾਰ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਨੂੰ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ ਕ੍ਰਾਸ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ। ਆਓ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ life is a great divine gift which you have got, and you talked about the 70s when there was an overdrive of everything, but today also what we are finding out is man is just running around. A human being, the beingness is not being seen, but we have become more of machines of doing things. What do you feel? What is happening and how we need to bring about that peace? Because today, though despite the increasing technology, the benefits what we have, maybe never ever any generation got those benefits. But along with that, the side effects of bad health, stress, tension, anxiety, all those issues are also coming forward. So what should be done?
Well, again, you bring about a lot of truths in what you just said in your message. It's true that despite the advanced technology, people haven't become really more happy, or that shanti, the peace is that we feel we deserve it. So it means we have to spend some time naturally because we're all plugged into this kind of world in which we live. You can't deny it. But definitely we have to prioritize, and we have to give some time to that, that meditative amount of time in the morning, evening, and perhaps a little break at noontime. I think 3 times in the day where you kind of punctuate the day with whether it's walking or sit down meditation. It's what I think is a requirement, if you want to achieve that balance. I don't think the world's going to slow down.
Right.
We're going to go more high speed. So, therefore there's all the more reason to take the other extreme and to just slow down almost to the point of stopping.
Right.
But definitely we need to take time to smell the roses, as the saying goes, and do what we're meant for it. I'll give an example. Now I've walked halfway through America. I went from New York to Nebraska, Lincoln. I met one fellow from the corporate world. He pulled over and he saw my robes, my traditional Swami attire. And he said, so can you give me some information, give me some words of wisdom? And I said, well, and I could feel his vibrations, that he was in a hurry, but he wanted a little like a morning whatever insertion. And so I said, okay, 2 things. We're human beings, so definitely we're meant to walk.
Right.
And another human birthright is to cultivate your spiritual side.
Right.
So when you look at what we are, we're machines ourselves.
Right.
But there is an element within us, part of our psyche is that we have this want, this need for satisfying the inner self that goes beyond even our physical emotions.
Right.
And so that has to be addressed. That just has to be addressed. And you can marry the two, the physical and the spiritual. It's a good combination, makes life very complete.
Right.
I would say, like when I first became a monk, my mother was complaining, say, oh, you're too much into this. It's too much. And I admit that maybe I was, in her face a little bit too much with my spirituality.
Right.
But if you are a monk, then that is your calling, perhaps. It's not for everybody. But I would say everybody, if you're, you got a regular family person and you're in the regular work world, you must give a little time to yourself. Take a little downtime. Downtime means uptime.
Right.
Take
out time for yourself.
That's
because
right.
We have time for everything else, but we do not take out time for ourselves.
That's right. And
when you talk, please.
Yeah, we do. We do live in the world of mass distractions.
Right. Right.
Not mass, weaponry or lethal weapons. That too.
Right.
But the distractions are so evident that I personally get so much satisfaction from walking, like in most recent, I was through the cornfields, or near the cornfields, or along a river or lake or through a city. it's nice to see that transition, the change, and there's comfort in all this, you know, as opposed to just being at the grind.
So more with nature, the more you are at peace, the more that spiritual aspect of yours gets developed. Every human being wants to be happy, but in pursuit of happiness, we spend the whole life, but still we are not happy. So how to reach that state when you say, you know, combine the spiritual as well as the physical? Now, what do you feel, and what would be your suggestion with your experience as to how to bring in that you know, bliss in ourselves so that we can remain happy, and if we are happy, we can bring happiness to the world?
I think there's something that radiates in an individual when they're on the spiritual plane. You know, you can exude that easily,
Right.
Just by doing it. So again, like walking the talk. And also, while I'm walking, I'm also chanting on my mala beads.
Right.
So I'm chanting a mantra, Hare Krishna mantra. So that's there. And I would also say, you know, people, especially our younger generation, they always question everything, you know. And I was met by two young women the other day when I was in Toronto not long ago. And they just came up to me, two Caucasian young women, and they said, "Can you tell us something?" And it hit me, you know, something profound that our guru always said. Well, just remember one thing, let's get our identity right.
Right.
Everything starts with knowing yourself. And it starts with understanding you're not the body, so cancel that out.
Right.
That's the machine. But you have to identify with the spirit. It's like in Sanskrit we say aham brahmasmi. I am the spirit, I'm the energy, I'm the powerhouse.
Right.
So when I explained that to the two young women, they said, "Wow, that's really something." And right when I was talking to them, an East Indian cab driver that I know, he honked his horn, he noticed me,
Right.
and I took a minute to talk to him, and then I went back to the girls. I said, "So you see this guy? He's the cab driver.
Right.
You know, he's important. The car is the machine,
Instrument. Yeah.
but it is the powerhouse. It's the higher intelligence that's important, and that's what we are. We are the spirit. So if people want to kind of understand things a little bit more philosophically, which is kind of like where young people are, maybe call it scientific, then
Right.
then maybe they'll be sold on the idea. Okay, now I understand. Now act on it. What
Right.
do you do?
Right.
Act on it. And that is things like puja, our traditional thing, puja, bhajan, kirtan, those kind of things, which are kind of like, let's say, a common ground feature of all spiritual traditions.
Right.
They all believe that sound, that's sacred, is what you have to immerse yourself in.
Right.
And that's how you can rekindle your spiritual self.
Wonderful. And finally, you are here, sir, for attending the Rath Yatra. Every year, ISKCON organizes that. When is it being held this time, and where is it being held?
Yes, well, in beautiful downtown Vancouver, we're looking at a parade that's on Sunday. And it starts at 11:30, and I've got the information right here at Beach Avenue and Granville Street Bridge. And then we go to the second beach at Stanley Park. So there we have prasad, you know, sacred food. We have kirtan. We have a great stage show and lots of displays, and I'd say happy people. And it's a big family event, and people from all backgrounds come. It's great vegetarian food, and we're promised to have good weather, so it'll there for everybody.
Wonderful. It was a pleasure talking to you, sir. Thank you for coming over here and sharing your views with us. Thank you and best wishes.
Thank you, and Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. ਸੋ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਸਵਾਮੀ ਭਗਤੀ ਮਾਰਗ ਸਵਾਮੀ ਜਿਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਵਾਕਿੰਗ ਮੰਕ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਮਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕੱਢੀਏ। ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਮਾਂ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਮਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਕਿ ਖੁਸ਼ ਰਹਿਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੀ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਸਮਾਂ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਨੇਚਰ ਨਾਲ ਇਨਵੋਲਵ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਚਾਨੀਏ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਰੀਰ ਨਹੀਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਆਤਮਾ ਹਾਂ। ਸਾਡੇ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਇਹੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਚੰਗੇ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਬਣਨਾ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਤਦ ਹੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਣ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੇਕਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਦੀ ਪਹਿਚਾਨ ਕਰ ਸਕੀਏ। ਮਨ ਤੋਂ ਜੋਤ ਸਰੂਪ ਹੈ ਆਪਣਾ ਮੂਲ ਪਛਾਣ। ਅਸੀਂ ਬਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਜੇਕਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਚਾਨ ਲਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਬ੍ਰਹਮੰਡ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਮਝ ਲਵਾਂਗੇ।